Hi, this is my TOK essay breakdown series for May 2024. In these videos, I'll be unpacking the key terms and ideas from the title, as well as looking at the question through the lens of two AOKs. For a much more detailed analysis, examples, and ideas for how to approach this title using the different AOKs and other key TOK concepts, do check out the full written guide link in the description. Okay, so let's have a look at Title 1, which is subjectivity overly celebrated in the arts but unfairly condemned in history? And for this one, you do, of course, have to look at history and the arts. So, beginning with some key terms, the first one I would pick out is subjectivity, which we can broadly define as the quality of being based on or influenced by personal factors such as feelings, tastes, opinions, beliefs, etc. I would also choose overly celebrated, so the giving something more recognition or praise than it deserves, as well as the opposite term, unfairly condemned, which is when something of true worth or merit is overlooked and given an undeserved negative perception. When answering this question, some key points I would bear in mind is, first of all, ensuring that you address the different meanings and implications of subjectivity in the arts and history. So we're talking about things like personal interpretation and its consequences, the role of perspective, bias, emotion, etc. And of course, you need to think about the benefits and drawbacks of subjectivity in history and the arts. So on the one hand, it has positive elements, for instance, widening our understanding of a particular topic through giving us alternative perspectives. But also it has negative points such as leading to the creation of inaccurate or unreliable knowledge. Also, I would avoid presenting subjectivity as some kind of binary concept because it has varying degrees dependent on the context and the knower. And, subjective processes, so for example, subjective processes in the creation of knowledge can have objective elements and vice versa. Let's start with the AOK of Arts. First of all, linking the title prompt to this AOK, we can say subjectivity is an intrinsic element of arts, given that it's impossible to create or interpret art without being influenced by personal factors like emotions, perspectives, beliefs, values, etc. And for the claim, we'll focus on the knowledge framework element of methods and tools. And our point here is that a heavy emphasis on subjectivity is justified because it encourages experimentation, innovation, and originality in the arts. Because, if an artist doesn't have to follow set objective standards, they have greater freedom to use their imagination, intuition, to create works which are more true to their unique vision, perspective, emotions, etc. An example we could use for this point is Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama's infinity mirrors, which are basically these rooms of mirrors with lights and different patterns, which create this kind of immersive experience for the viewer, as well as conveying Kusama's obsession with infinity and self-obliteration in a pretty unique way. For the counterclaim, we might say that putting too much emphasis on subjectivity gives the impression that a work of art is innovative when really it's just relying on shock value and sensationalism for the sake of publicity. So this point is taking more of an ethical angle. And an example we could arguably use to illustrate this is Damien Hirst's work, The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living, which is basically this tiger shark carcass preserved in a steel tank. So kind of messed up, but certainly attention grabbing. Its degree of artistic merit is also debatable. Okay, and bringing these ideas together in a mini conclusion, we can say that while subjectivity should be celebrated in the arts, it shouldn't be so at the cost of certain ethical principles. Right, let's move on to our second AOK, which is, of course, history. Beginning by linking the title prompt with the AOK once again, we can say that subjective perspectives play a key role in the study of history, given that historians are influenced by their backgrounds, personal beliefs, social, cultural environments, etc. And also the sources they engage with are also based on varying degrees of subjectivity, reflecting the religious, cultural, political perspectives of their authors. Okay, so for the claim, we'll focus on the knowledge framework element of perspectives by saying that subjectivity is unfairly condemned in this AOK, given that personal narratives and oral histories have immense value, given that they, recount individual experiences and often capture nuances and emotions and cultural underpinnings which kind of broader historical narratives often miss. An example we can use for this being the Civil War letters of First Lieutenant James V. Thomas, and this series of letters provides us with the perspectives of soldiers during the American Civil War, and they give us kind of more of a human angle or the human story behind this period. For our counterclaim, we can argue on the other hand that subjective sources do have significant limitations, and moreover they can distort the past. This lack of objectivity can make it difficult to get a clear view of the past, especially when we're dealing with contradictory narratives. An example we can use to illustrate this being those narratives surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and especially its historical roots. So, not only do you have highly conflicting narratives around the beginnings of this conflict, but these perspectives are arguably even more entrenched due to the fact that this is an ongoing conflict. So, summing things up in the mini conclusion, we might say that whilst it isn't fair to dismiss subjective perspectives, their limitations do need to be acknowledged. Okay, so yeah, that was just a quick look at this particular essay. As I mentioned at the beginning, for essay guides, do check out the link in the description, and I also provide personal feedback in case you're interested. Anyway, I'll be addressing title number 2 next, and if there is another title you would like me to get to first, please do leave a comment below. Other than that, thank you very much for watching.